I like to just walk away a little bit from the concept that sharing is ESOP. Right? Sharing is opportunities. ESOP is one part of it.
Okay.
So financial outcomes is one part of it. Let's say you're going in, there's the kid you hired who's great in finance. You're going for an investor meeting. You take him along?
Needs to be proven, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what he's joined for, no? Yeah. Because if he joined a large corporation, he'll get that opportunity 8 years later, right? He's joined for that. So that's sharing. That's sharing of that opportunity, right? Of learning something which you are also learning, by the way, right? And being confident that at least the guy will sit quietly and not screw up, right? Or that girl who's joined to learn something. I think sharing means a lot more than just financial. It is not just learning. It's not like a favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of responsibility out there. I think the first 10-15 people you have in your company are your apprenticeships. It is an apprenticeship model.
Correct.
Are you following that dharma or not? And with that, a part of it is financial as well, right? And I think financial, nobody has the right answer. One should, but if I have to give you an answer, I said if I were to work up in a risk, ultimately what are you adjusting for? Let's be brass tacks about it. You're adjusting for risk and reward always, right?
Yes.
So here the risk is much higher. Reward in the near term is much lower, often than alternate opportunities, right? But in a 5-year time frame, you should be confidently able to say, if we do well together, you will be 3 to 4x better than financially than what you have been in a standard situation. And that standard situation not so hard to define.
Correct.
Let's say, अपने लेते हैं ना, we both went to the same institution.
Correct.
If you joined a McKinsey from college, 5 साल का financial outcome is reasonably transparent, right? Correct. It's not like anybody who's been there will tell you within plus minus 10%.
Correct.
If that kid leaves and joins, should be 5x that or 4x that. If it works out, doesn't work out, right?
Correct.
I think those are the simple ways to think about it, rather than and back calculate from there, saying what should be the grant now, etc.
You're absolutely right. I think there are 3 ways.
What have you done, by the way?
There are 3. And what we try to do, I think the intent is there. How successful we are is up for debate. But I think the intent is to do it on three axes, right? Axis number 1 is quantifiable currency, which is ESOPs, which is net worth in X years, in 3 to 5 years, should be 3 to 5 times what your net worth would have been had you been a high performer in your current role. So baseline financial, and then kind of make that exactly what you said.
Correct.
Second is slightly more difficult to measure, which is what kind of person you will be in the market at the 3 to 5 year point. So if you're joining as a marketer, and if you were a marketer elsewhere, in 3 to 5 years, where you would be in your organization is one thing. How hireable are you in the industry for what role is a different thing. So for us, and that's what they say in McKinsey, right? Every year is 4 years of growth. So we try to do the same thing every year here, because of just the rigor, agility, and adversity, the muscle flex for adversity that you build working in an environment like this prepares you for कि तुम यहाँ पे रहोगे 3-4 साल तो तुम्हारा 10 साल का जंप होगा करियर में broadly. And people today think about a 35-year career as 7 5-year careers or 6 year careers broadly, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
So we are saying you will skip 1 career. You won't need to do the next 6 years. You will do 2 careers here if you stay long enough and do well. And then the way to judge it, there's no way to judge it because this is not something which you can quantify. The way we try to judge it is to say after every 2-3 years, collectively, you and I both will go into the market and say, hey, what kind of role are you actually getting? You are a star person at Bombay Shaving Company running digital marketing, or you are heading supply chain and procurement for a complex FMCG portfolio here. We hired you from a quality assurance lab where you were X, right? So now what kind of job will you get? Let's together go out into the market and just see and connect to a few founders, connect to a couple of investors. And then there is very easy triangulation to say, theek yaar, my market, even though I may want to leave, may not want to leave. And sometimes we have seen people, so we kind of second them to Colgate or second them to Reckitt and kind of get them to do an experience which is large organization. And for younger companies like us, sometimes talent is, the center of gravity of talent towards high potential, low pedigree is higher. Because that's the way you kind of,
correct.
That's what you can afford.
Yeah.
But we want to pull that center of gravity through rigor to the right side, right? And I think just testing for it regularly is something that we try to do. I don't know how successful we are. I think we could ask some of the people in the room as to how successful we are at it, or we want to do it more. But I think
You're also a young organization. You're like 5-7 years old.
Correct. And we realize that when we see companies like Colgate and Reckitt, 200 plus years legacy, institutions that have outlasted
People.